Thank you, Chairman Connolly, for getting us started. Hey, the first thing I want to do is encourage you to be comfortable. If you can't see me and you're through eating and you want to turn your chairs, go right ahead and do that. And we want you to be able to enjoy the program this afternoon and have a good time. On behalf of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame and our Board of Trustees, allow me to welcome you to the 8th Annual Women's Sports Luncheon, sponsored for the 8th time by the B. Payne Stewart Foundation. Our goals, that's true. We'll applaud again here in a minute, Terry, so thanks for getting us started there. I can't believe it's been 8 years, girls, either. But I can't believe a lot of things about how fast time is passing right now. Our goals through this annual event are to pay tribute to women in sports or to those who have contributed to women's sports programs in a significant way. We accomplish this through inducting and recognizing individuals, teams, or programs through the Hall of Fame. Today, we will induct an outstanding golfer, a leading advocate for volleyball, a world champion horseshoe pitcher, for the first time, I might add, a very successful tennis coach, an exceptional high school cross-country program, and a nationally recognized collegiate handball program. In addition, we'll present the Distinguished President's Award to a very deserving individual. For the 6th year, we'll be presenting the WIN Awards, and through this program, we'll be recognizing 7 women who had exemplary high school, collegiate, amateur, or professional careers or have had a significant impact on the sports world. You're going to enjoy looking back and reflecting and remembering the careers of all of our honorees. This is going to be a very special and entertaining celebration related to women's sports. We're glad to see you. A year ago, this was the first event for the Hall of Fame that was adversely impacted by the pandemic. And you may recall it was scheduled for March. It was scheduled twice in April, once in May, and we finally held the event last August, and some of you were in attendance. We do feel much more comfortable with where we are today than a year ago. Your temperatures were checked as you arrived and entered. Your tables are spread according to the health department guidelines. And we are asking you to wear your mask while you're not eating, drinking, or speaking. When you do come to stage, we would invite you to take your mask off for pictures. But thank you for your cooperation. I do want to call special attention to the B. Payne Stewart Foundation and to B. Stewart's daughters, Laura Thomas and her sister, Susan Daniel, and their families for providing the founding and title sponsorship through the B. Payne Stewart Foundation. This is their 8th year to fill this role, and to be candid with you, without their sponsorship, we wouldn't be able to host this type of event. Please remember with me the late B. Payne Stewart, and let's express appreciation to the family and recognize Laura and Susan. Would you two ladies stand at this time? Let us recognize you. Good. Thank you. As with each event, I want to thank and recognize our corporate sponsors. These organizations are represented on the inside cover of your program today by their corporate logos, and they help us with virtually every activity that we host throughout the course of the year. In addition, on that same page, you'll see a listing of today's table and head table sponsors. You may be seated at one of these tables, so let's recognize all of these folks and our corporate sponsors at this time. Thank them for their sponsorships. Very special thank you to McDonald's and Chip and Teresa McGeehan as our ticket back sponsor today. With the purchase of a chicken sandwich, you'll receive a free drink and an order of fries. Be sure and use this at one of the McDonald's listed on the back of that ticket, if you will. As always, we're pleased to have members of the Hall of Fame in attendance at our event. I'm going to introduce the ones that I've been able to see as you've arrived today, and let's get them on their feet, and then I'll give others a chance to stand as well. Please stand as I call your name. Coach Paul Mullins, Coach Tommy Burnett, members of the Cass County football program, the MSU handball teams between 1987 and 2011, Joyce Mahoney, Becky Oakes, Art Haynes, Missouri sports legend Bill Verdon, President's Award recipients Leon Combs and Mark Spate. If you've been awarded with the Win Award in the past, if you're here today, please stand if you've received one of the Win Awards. And other Hall of Fame members that I may have missed. If you're a member of the Hall of Fame, please stand. I apologize for missing you. Let's give all these folks a big round of applause. Thank you. Good. One very special introduction I'd like to make today is Coach Amy Egan. She is the NCAA Division II Basketball Coach of the Year for recently leading the Drury Lady Panthers to a national runner-up finish. Coach Egan, would you please stand and recognize her? Good. What a great year the Lady Panthers had. And obviously one more special group that we always recognize. I'm privileged to be a United States Air Force veteran, and I know we have other veterans in the room. Would all the veterans please stand at this time that are with us? If you're a veteran, please stand if you will. Thank you. Good. Thank you all. We have a very busy spring and summer ahead of us. Our next event will be our annual Kansas City Celebrity Golf Classic on April 20th. That'll be followed by the Mizzou Tiger Ball and Scholarship Auction and Golf Classic. Those events will take place on May 6 and 7. Our Lake of the Ozarks Golf Classic at Old Kinderhook will be on May 10. And our annual baseball sports luncheon will take place in this room on May 19. On June 6 and 7, we'll host our annual Shrimp Social and Bingo Bash, where a lucky winner will win $1,000 playing bingo, and we'll be golfing at Highland Springs on that Sunday and Monday, June 6 and 7. Other events will take place leading up to the 32nd annual PGA Korn Ferry Tours Price Cutter Charity Championship presented by Dr. Pepper. All of these events are only feasible because of our outstanding staff who allow us to accomplish so much. I'd like to invite our staff to stand, and if you're close to the front, that would be helpful as well. Let me introduce Byron Shive, the incoming president of the Hall of Fame, Marty Willitson, the executive vice president, Carrie Crawford Norris, the vice president of marketing, is here, Taylor Frederick in sponsorship development, Dale Whitty, our accountant, Carrie Boer in media relations, and Ethan Neiman, our administrative assistant. Please recognize our team, if you will, for their work. When I arrived at the Hall of Fame nearly 26 years ago, one of the first individuals that I met was Dr. Mary Jo Wynn. She was leading the women's athletics program at Missouri State University. Over the years, I was able and privileged to induct her into the Hall of Fame. She helped us start this program, and she was the first woman recognized as a Missouri sports legend for being a pioneer in women's sports. Although we lost her over 2 years ago now, we continue to keep her memory alive through the Win Awards. Today, we will honor 7 women with a Win Award related to their respective sports in high school, college, amateur, or professional levels. I'm going to be introducing each recipient. They'll be receiving a plaque commemorating this honor from Chairman Connolly and be getting their picture taken. If you're related to one of these honorees in way of family, coaches, or friends, please stand and remain standing until your honoree has been recognized. You'll find additional biographical information about each honoree starting on page 2 of your program today, while enjoying some pictures of playing days gone by on the video screens. Beginning today is Denise Buchanan, Glendale High School and the University of Kansas. At Glendale in the early to mid 1980s, Denise was a 4-time state champion in track and field, an all-state basketball player, and was on the volleyball team. In 1982 and 83, she won those two state shot put titles, as well as 2 discus state titles. In fact, her discus throw her junior year was 153 feet and 4 inches. that set a state record that was not broken until after 2001. She was also part of Springfield Public Schools' first girls basketball team to reach a state championship game and scored 1,055 career points en route to earning All Ozarks and All State all 4 years. At KU, she was an NCAA All-American in 1987 in the shot put in the indoor and outdoor seasons, setting a school record at the NCAA Indoor Championships with a throw of 53 feet, 4¼ inches. Please recognize Denise Buchanan of Glendale High School and the University of Kansas. Val Sawyer Crawford, Rolla High School and the University of Missouri. Val earned 10 All-State honors in track and cross country at Rolla High School, which included winning 3 state championships. In track, she won the Class 4 800 meters in 1986 and 1987, with her senior year of 2 minutes and 10 seconds, still 11th best in state history. She earned track All-American honors both seasons, and Val was the Gatorade Missouri Female Athlete of the Year in 1987, 2 years after winning a state cross-country title. At Mizzou, Val ran a leg on the Mizzou's 1989 4x400 meter relay team that ranks 3rd in the indoor school history. Additionally, her best 800 meter time of 2 minutes and 8 seconds in 1990 set the school record and still ranks 8th all time. Please recognize Val Sawyer Crawford, Rolla High School, and the University of Missouri. Lindsay Bourne Green, Joplin High School, and the University of Oklahoma. When Misha added pole vaulting to the state track and field championships for women in 1999, Lindsay was the first to win it in Class 4 and repeated the next year. As a senior in 2001, she won the Reno, Nevada Vault Summit, held the high school national record for girls with a vault of 11 feet and 9½ inches, and competed in the Golden West track meet that recognized the top 9 athletes in the nation in each event. Additionally, she was invited to the USA Track and Field Camp and set the KU Relays record with a vault of 11 feet and 11¾ inches. At the University of Oklahoma, Lindsay was named the Sooners' Outstanding Newcomer in 2001. She was a 4-time All-Big 12 Conference performer and qualified for the NCAA Division I Midwest Regionals twice. As a team co-captain, she ended her career tied for 4th in the indoor and number 2 all-time in the outdoor of OU's record books. Please recognize Lindsay Bourne Green of Joplin High School and the University of Oklahoma. Lynn Miller. Lynn is from Grand Island, Nebraska High School and Missouri State University. This award is very meaningful to Lynn because Dr. Mary Jo Wynn played a significant role in recruiting her from the University of Nebraska to MSU. Lynn certainly made an impact. In only 3 basketball seasons for the Lady Bears from 1982 to 1984, she grabbed 571 rebounds, scored 891 points, and made 215 assists. In order, those marked ranked 20th, 33rd, and 27th all-time in program history. She also owns the 10th best rebounding average, thanks in part to 250 rebounds alone in 1982. Back home at Grand Island, Nebraska, Lynn had been a 4-sports athlete who played on 12 state tournament teams and was a 2-time All-State selection in volleyball and basketball. She has since served 36 years in education for the Springfield Public Schools, worked the basketball camps, and for the past 13 years has been an analyst on Lady Bears Radio. Lynn Miller, Grand Island, Nebraska High School and Missouri State University. Chelsea Russell, Kickapoo High School, Rice University, and the University of Tulsa. Before graduating from Kickapoo in 2008, Chelsea was a 3-time All-State soccer selection and earned All-District and All-Ozarks Conference all 4 seasons. She also led the team to 2 state quarterfinal appearances. Individually, was the Regional Player of the Year, the Ozarks Conference MVP, District MVP, and captained the team for 3 seasons. In 2005, Chelsea helped what is now the St. Louis Soccer Club become the first Missouri women's team to win a national title. A year later, she was part of the Region 2 Olympic Development Team, earning a week-long tryout for the U.S. women's national team, and became a top 50 national recruit by Top Drawer Soccer. Chelsea played 2 seasons at Rice University, an injury-shortened season for the University of Tulsa, before playing 2 seasons professionally for FC St. Louis. Please recognize Chelsea Russell, Kickapoo High School, Rice University, and the University of Tulsa. Amy Lodes Whitty, Lindbergh High School, and Columbia College. Amy played volleyball and basketball at Lindbergh High School in the mid-1980s before going to Columbia College, where she made a tremendous impact. In fact, her jersey was the first jersey retired in Columbia College volleyball history. She played there from 1988 through 1992, earned Conference Player of the Year, and NAIA's second-team All-American. She went on to a successful corporate career, mostly in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where for the past 22 years, Amy's been working in animal agriculture as a senior account manager. Please recognize Amy Lodes Whitty, Lindbergh High School, and Columbia College. Callie Newton Woods, Republic High School, and Drury University. At Republic, Callie played volleyball, basketball, and competed in track and field. In 1997, she won the state championship in discus and placed 3rd in the shot put. In 1999, her senior year, she was state runner-up in both as she set school records in the shot put with a throw of 40 feet, and in the discus with a throw of 144 feet and 7 inches. In basketball, she was 2-time first-team All-State selection and scored more than 1,500 career points, averaging 17 points and 8 rebounds a game. Callie was the MVP of the Pink and White tournament. After a season at the University of Central Missouri, she joined Drury University's first 3 teams in 2001 through 2003, helping the Lady Panthers to a 65-20 record. Callie later was a graduate assistant for Drury, including in the 2004 season when the team finished as the NCAA Division II national runner-up. Please recognize Callie Newton Woods, Republic High School, and Drury University. Let's give all of our Win Award recipients a big round of applause. What outstanding accolades have been recognized here today. Very special thanks to all the families, schools, and businesses that are here today to honor these ladies. While they're getting a group photo taken at this time, then they'll be making their way back to their tables. Let me encourage you to nominate people for the Win Awards for 2022. Sometimes folks are like, how do we get people nominated? Well, you let the Hall of Fame know. So feel free and let me encourage you to submit letters of nomination for ladies that you think would be deserving of a Win Award. There are a lot of great collegiate programs, not just here in the Ozarks, but across the state. But there's a good chance that they have not achieved as much success as the Missouri State Women's Handball Program, who have built a national powerhouse. Please turn your attention to the video screens at this time.
Inside the arena, the trophy case burst at the seams, signs of overwhelming success.
You know, winning those trophies was just kind of like the best feeling in the world. Every single year, it was just as amazing as the one before.
The handball program at Missouri State University started in 1987. Just 6 years later, the women's team won their first national championship.
It was a great experience just being part of the Handball Bears and having that teamship, and I made some lifelong friends, and it was a lot of fun to travel to tournaments and practice and just to be a part of something and be a part of a team at the collegiate level.
1993 was just the beginning. The MSU women's program has won 16 national titles, doing it against nearly 40 other teams annually at the national tournament.
You have all these people, some have been playing, since they were 10, others you started in college and have only been playing a year. And so you have this wide range of players that you get to play with and really learn from.
Led by program founder Dr. Tommy Burnett, the program has seen 18 players earn 32 All-American honors. They've done it all operating as a non-scholarship entity.
He's one of the best coaches I've ever had, not just because he knows the sport so well, but because he cares and he wants to make sure that you know that he cares. So I absolutely adore him. Everybody does. Not one person ever says anything bad about Tommy Burnett, so he's really just great. I'm really blessed that I got to play for somebody so amazing.
We had such an excellent group of people that invested. I mean, they were volunteers, and so they were there out of the passion for the game. They were there for the passion for the kids, and you could tell. And that was very energizing, and it was just a wonderful experience that I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life.
Their 16 national titles has also helped MSU win 15 combined titles with the men's team, which means at this pace, they're going to need a bigger trophy case.
So really just kind of getting those trophies and being able to say, hey, our hard work is paying off, and really doing that for not only us, but also for our coaches who put in so much time and care so much about us. So being able to kind of bring home that trophy and say, hey, we did it, like we made this happen, is just a really cool feeling.
To all the young women that have participated in Missouri State Handball, congratulations on this award. It is well deserved, and we are very proud of your efforts.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a 2009 Missouri Sports Hall of Fame inductee, Dr. Tommy Burnett, as well as members of the Missouri State University Women's Handball Program.
I'm going to be introducing the participants that are able to be here today, and as I recognize you, please acknowledge the crowd. Amy Bunton Bell, Taylor Bell, Coach Dr. Thomas H. Burnett, Robin Collins, Skylar Collison, Beth Heim Dawson, Jenny Burnett Hopkins, Emmy Carneth, Catherine Lucas, Diane Luttrell, Megan Mudd, Mandy Roundsville Norgard, Christina Pico, Bree Still, Paige Taylor, Nicole Walker, Coach Brian Watson, and Molly Wilson. At this time, Jenny and Christina are going to come and share some comments with you.
Well, thank you to Gerald and his team and the selection committee for this honor. It means a lot to these young ladies. When my dad asked me to represent him on this acceptance, I was honored, but not because I'm his daughter, but because I was one of his players. I learned a lot playing handball. It's a tremendous sport. It's not only a great way for my siblings and I to spend time with my father, but a way for us to become better athletes, better people, and playing handball at Missouri State University, like many of these young ladies would say, was one of the best times of our life. I asked my dad one time, I said, I'm honored to be, a part of the first 4 national titles of many that have kept this tradition going. And I said, how do you do this? How do you have the time and the energy to put into this program to bring it to a national prominence year in and year out? His answer is simple. I do it for the kids. They are my motivation. I do it for their experience and because handball is quite simply the perfect game. Don't argue with him. I do it because I love it and I'm grateful to be a part of their success. Well said, Coach. We were honored to have some of our teams recognized and inducted in 2011. We were honored 2 years ago to rename the Missouri State University handball courts the Dr. Thomas H. Burnett handball courts. And now we're honored for this as the women being recognized for their continued success and honestly domination. They have done a tremendous job and they work very hard for this. Dr. Burnett would like to thank his wife, Tammy. He made sure and put that in all caps so I would not forget. Check mark. And he would like to recognize the assistant coaches that have helped them along the way. Brian Watson is here today, and we in particular thank you for helping organize this, Brian Watson. We appreciate all of your dedication and your efforts. Clint Johnson, Tom Deering, Doug Carson, Terry Thomas, Amber Roundsville Smith, Michaela Mitchell, and several others. We also want to thank our donors from the Missouri Handball Association from Kansas City and St. Louis. The players say it best. Missouri State Handball is a family. It's a team. And as my dad always said, you guys can say it with me, the strength of the wolf is in the pack. The strength of the pack is in the wolf. And that is their team motto. So thank you, Dr. Tommy Burnett. Would you please wave? Thank you for this honor. And now I want to introduce, I guess I'm representing the old players. Look what I'm doing to myself here. And representing the new players, 2-time All-American Christina Pico to say a few words.
During my time on the team, I've seen players graduate and new people join. The one thing that stayed consistent is Coach Burnett. He is the reason that our team stays so well-rounded. Anyone that has been on the team could tell you a story about how Burnett has impacted them. For me, Burnett has been a positive role model in my life and can always put a smile on my face. So thank you, Coach, because without you, our women's team wouldn't be where we are. We appreciate all of your hard work and dedication. It never goes unnoticed.
Thank you, ladies. At this time, I'm going to be presenting the plaque to Dr. Burnett. Missouri State University Women's Handball Program, enshrined as a member April 7, 2001, in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the sport of handball. More than 50 years ago, David Steinmeier was asked to coach tennis. He said yes, and it turns out that was the right answer. One of the longest tenured and successful coaches in Missouri history has earned him his own nickname. Let us meet Mr. Tennis, David Steinmeier.
He was on the court for more than 5 decades, and over the span of 50-plus years, he picked up a thing or two about coaching.
He held kids accountable, but he was also very fair, and that's something I noticed about him and something I always admired and respected.
David Steinmeier started coaching tennis way back in 1956. He became so popular in mid-Missouri, he earned himself the nickname Mr. Tennis.
You had some great teams back in the day, both boys and girls, so it was a rude awakening for any coach coming into coaching high school tennis to face the Jays.
He never accepts the fact that you can't do something, and if you say the word can't, you better be prepared for a speech. You'll continue to do that task until you accomplish it, because Kant never did anything.
Whatever his methods, they worked. Steinmeier spent 31 years coaching high school tennis, the majority at Jefferson City High School. He won 2 state titles with the girls' teams. He had 2 girls' double state champions, a boys' double state champion, and a combined 10 teams that finished in the top 4.
I think of all the hours and hard work that he put in to make me and hundreds of other youth, young men and young women in our community, not only better tennis players, but better people.
Steinmeier's commitment to tennis goes far beyond the 20-plus years he spent at Jeff City and the 447 wins. He also spent 20-plus years coaching tennis at the local YMCA, helping develop players and facilities. In fact, the courts are named in his honor.
Very driven, very dedicated, selfless, and the time that he's spent with me and I'm sure countless others over the years.
A graduate of Webster Groves High School and of Westminster College, Steinmeier coached 10 years at each before coming to Jeff City, where he's never left, and he's built his lasting tennis legacy.
Once again, I want to say congratulations, and I thank you for what you've done for Mid-Missouri in tennis, and keep going strong, Dave.
I am so lucky to have you not only as a coach, but a role model as well. So congratulations, you deserve this.
You have a special place in our heart forever, and we thank you for everything that you've done for us.
So, Coach, congratulations on this honor. We are all so very proud of you. No one deserves this honor more than you do.
More than 50 years in the business and one of the best to ever do it. He's the man they call Mr. Tennis. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. David Steinmeier.
I would like to take this time to thank the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame for this wonderful honor. To me, it's kind of an interesting thing because it's kind of like a point in a tennis match. The ball hits the top of the net and it happens to go over and you win the point. And you're really elated, but then you realize that you're not too sure you really deserve it. So that's how I feel about this award. But it's really wonderful to be here. Tom Brady went to heaven, and the Lord was showing him around the town, and he came across this nice house with a picket fence and a nice 2-car garage and lots of flowers. And the Lord said, "Tom, this is your home." Up on the hill, way behind that home, was a big, big mansion. And it had gold sidewalks and had a beautiful tennis court. And it had a whole bunch of Kansas City flags and pennants flying on it, and a picture of Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill. And so it was kind of interesting to see that beautiful mansion. And Tom said, excuse me, guys. The Lord said, Tom said, "That's a beautiful house, but I won the Super Bowl." And the Lord said, "That's my house. Go, Chiefs." Sorry I messed that up so much. The Lord has blessed me with a wonderful family, a wonderful wife, 3 children, 4 grandchildren, a beautiful, beautiful family, and a lot of wonderful tennis players. And because of those great tennis players, I am here to get this honor. It has nothing to do with me, really. It has with their time and effort took place. They were really outstanding, and it made my job very easy. You know, the YMCA and the Washington Park tennis courts were my Six Flags and Disney World. I had such a wonderful time there and wouldn't give it for any place else. It really was a wonderful experience. A wholesome environment, good exercise, and lots of fun. I have never worked a day in my life. Again, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame for this honor, and I thank the many, many people in my life who have made this possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. And thank you all for not applauding when he referred to Tom Brady going to heaven. Of course, some would say that kind of sounded like an oxymoron, but I'm not sure. Hey, Dave's family and a host of friends are here. Would all the Steinmeier group please stand if you're here for Dave today? Please stand if you will. Let's recognize those folks. Good. Dave Steinmeier, enshrined as a member in recognition of your outstanding contributions as a tennis coach. We're going to get a picture. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. In the late 90s and early 2000s, the future of Springfield's volleyball club was in jeopardy. That is, until Sue Daughtery stepped in and turned it around. Now the club is one of the most successful in the state, producing top-notch volleyball for over 20 years. Let's look at the reason why.
When they needed her the most, she was there to answer the call.
Somebody needed to take control of the club volleyball program, and she went, without hesitation, jumped in and said, if it means that my daughter and others like her get opportunity, I'm going to do it.
It was in 1999 when Sue Daughtery first volunteered with Club Bear Volleyball. Before too long, she was the full-time executive director.
I would call her the queen of volleyball of Springfield. She likes to be, and she likes to be in the center of it, and is very involved, knows all what's going on. But yeah, at the core, it is giving kids a chance to play. That's absolutely at the core.
As executive director of what is now Apex Volleyball Club, Daughtery has grown the club to one of the biggest in the region, from 10 teams in its first year to now 30-plus teams a year.
To grow anything, you have to present opportunities, and being able to grow the amount of teams that Apex Volleyball, first Club Bear and then Apex, could sustain meant a lot of hard work and dedication, and I think just giving kids the opportunity to play.
The chance to play and the chance to succeed. Thousands of girls coming through Apex over the years, with a countless number of them earning scholarships to college.
I've seen Sue do what a lot of clubs would not do. They didn't just want the very top level people. Sue wanted as many kids as she could. She wanted to give them the opportunity to play volleyball.
Beyond the court, she represented Southwest Missouri as she was the junior club director for Heart of America Volleyball, which is part of USA Volleyball.
I think to get kids to play, to get them included, to not leave anybody behind, just give them that opportunity. I think that must be her passion. She couldn't have run this club the way she's doing it.
And 2 years ago, she was presented with the Robert Lindsay Meritorious Service Award, given to individuals who make significant contributions at the national, regional, or local levels through USA Volleyball.
On behalf of myself, my family, and the thousands of girls throughout Southwest Missouri, congratulations on this great honor. You so deserve it. You are greatly respected in the world of volleyball, and thank you very much.
I'm so glad you get this honor. You've been great to work with. You've been a lot of fun to work with over the years, and congratulations.
Congratulations, Mom, on your induction into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame.
From an unpaid volunteer to executive director, ladies and gentlemen, a true advocate for volleyball in Southwest Missouri, please welcome Mrs. Sue Daughtery.
Thank you very much. I am not a crier, but as Stephanie mentioned the other day, she might cry, and I'm glad I came before her because it's going to be hard not to. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee and staff and the Women in Sports Luncheon, such quality people, and congratulations to all that are being inducted today. Such an honor to be inducted with you. So many to thank. I'd like to first thank my husband, Mike, and my children. They've been with me all of the way. A lot of times I've been gone, and they have supported me. Volleyball in season is pretty demanding, and they've never complained about it, so I appreciate that. We have 4 beautiful children. We have 3 wonderful son-in-laws, a wonderful daughter-in-law, 9 grandchildren, and 4 soon-to-be great-grandchildren. Very blessed and humbled to be part of the family. I would like to thank Jerry Snyder. There's no words, a supporter, a friend, a mentor, a great teacher for the sport of volleyball. How many years ago did I ask what's SR meant? That's how little I knew about the sport when I started, because I played softball. And he has helped me understand the game of volleyball. Kathy Elgin, Larry Von Holten, Brian McVeigh, others who have program. There is just no way we could have had this success without these people. I'm just touching on a few, but these are the ones that really worked hard, and they did it for the love of the sport also. Barry Wheeler, such a special coach, 16 years, never a dull moment with Barry. Love you, Lynette, and our angel Lauren. Years ago, we had Larry Von Holten was our vice president of the board, Jerry was our director, and Barry was one of our coaches. So if you remember, was it the show, I can't even remember the name of it right now, but it was Larry, Daryl, and Daryl. I had Larry, Jerry, and Barry. So for many years, they made a lot of enjoyment with it. Deidre Smith and Chelsea, we grew together, we learned together, and we had a great time doing it. Thank you for your loyalty. Apex Volleyball, Connie and Steve Faria. They saw a huge, huge need in our area, and were one of the first parents to make sure kids will have a safe, dedicated place to learn the sport of volleyball. Connie not only put her money and action into her dream of a gym dedicated to volleyball, not just for her daughters, but for many others in the area. We have 5 dedicated courts for volleyball, and it is quite the blessing. When I was first contacted about this award, all I could think of is, why would I qualify? Who would even think that? That's the way I felt. I was so embarrassed. As I tried my best to think of what I might have given through the years that would be worthy of this award, the only thing I could figure out was the simple fact of not giving up on the kids. If doing the work behind the scenes, the administrative part of it, so that they could play and they could go out and compete and they could see where they felt or they ended up in this world, whether it be to continue in sports or to go another way, that was satisfaction and joy for me. I am so very proud and honored of the players, coaches I've had contact with over the years, whether it was one season or more. Some are now teachers, some are doctors, some are lawyers, some are parents, and many, many have come back to me as coaches to keep passing it forward to the next generation, to help them be the best that they can be. And I have had a front row seat to watch for more than 21 years at so many tournaments and practices. What a blessing for me, and we will continue to pass it forward. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
There's a host of Sue's family and friends here today. Will they please stand? If you're here for Sue Daughtery, please stand if you will. Yeah. Great. Sue Daughtery, enshrined as a member in recognition of your outstanding contributions in the sport of volleyball. Here's a question for you. How long can you run? I guarantee you it's not as far or as fast as the young ladies from Logan Rogersville High School. Still a relatively young program, they've become one of the best in the state at cross country. Let me show you some reasons why through the video.
You see it inside the trophy case and on the banners on the wall. Years of documented excellence.
Pretty much all of us still run in some way because, you know, it put a love for running in our hearts. So being part of a dominant program is something that to this day I'm pretty proud of.
And for good reason. They started running girls cross country at Logan Rogersville in 1995. 2 years later, they finished second in state. 1 year after that, they won their first of 3 consecutive state titles, one of only 7 programs in the state to accomplish that feat.
There's so much more to the program though than the memories of the state championships and the medals that we won. I remember getting lost in cornfields on runs, Coach Boyer having to come and pick us up while severe storms rolled in, the time we got in trouble for running down Highway 60, needless to say, we never did that one again.
This program was amazing in that we took running seriously, but we never took ourselves seriously. We made sure to have fun every day, even if it was in the middle of a boiling hot afternoon workout and we're doing what feels like our 100th hill at Lake Springfield.
In their 26-year existence, they have finished at the top 10 at the state meet 12 times. They have a combined 16 conference and regional championships.
Being part of a dominant program wasn't really something that crossed my mind. We just had so much fun together. We laughed together. We had pasta parties together. I remember we always had Casey's Jell-O, just certain things that we always did together. We spent so much time together, hours and hours and hours. And I think that training really paid off.
Much of the success came under head coach Kevin Boyer, who spent 15 years leading the program, a program that has seen 12 Lady Cats earn college scholarships and 11 runners have accounted for 26 all-state honors.
Being a part of a program like LR's meant that you were surrounded by friends and teammates who understood the legacy of the program and the fact that it came from years and years of hard work and dedication, and that was an incredibly motivating aspect of the team.
A team and program that over their existence has come out strong and has built themselves as one of the elite programs in the state.
Again, just really glad that the team is getting the recognition that they deserve for the 20+ years of work that's been put in by so many members of the program. Don't forget to be a pig.
On that note, I just want to wish all former and current runners and their coaches a sincere congratulations on their induction into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame.
It's an amazing honor, well deserved by each one of you for all the hard work and hours that we spent running together, all the memories that we built, all the time that we spent. I'm so proud of each one of you and proud to call you my teammates.
It is with great pleasure we welcome former head coach Kevin Boyer, as well as members of the girls cross country program from Logan Rogersville High School.
Allow me to introduce coaches and former runners that are with us today before we hear from Coach Kevin Boyer. John Edwards, Josh Hart, Brad Lotz, Natalie Precise, and Mark Vert. Former runners include Anna Hassenmacher, Lily Caldwell, please acknowledge the crowds that call your name, Casey DeWitt Wilson, Aubrey Dockkeck, Elizabeth Gillibo, the late Christina Harder, represented by her mother Amy, Stacy Hill James, Esther Hopkins Hutchins, Ashley James, Grace Johnson, Kristen Keene Mills, Neva Lashley, Emma Leonard, Olivia McPherson, Allison McGinnis Fields, Kimberly Miller Carroll, Molly Mohan, Allie Pell, Tia Retzloff, Chloe Schaefer, Carrie Sell Beasley, Haley Suter, Faith Stark, Rayleigh Stillings, Hope Strasberg, Jesse Thomason McRae, Amy Vetter, and Kaylin Wood. Now Coach Boyer will come and share with you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Kevin Boyer with the girls cross country program from Logan Rogersville. I'm very humbled and proud to be here to speak on our behalf. Over the years, we've been blessed with some great runners, the kind of runners that make you look really good as a coach. You know, the old saying is you can't take a mule to the Derby. But more importantly, we've been blessed with a bunch of great young ladies. I should point out that the boys and girls program has always been together under the same coach, and we've been blessed with several talented boys over the years as well. Cross-country runner is a different breed of athlete. They run in the heat, the cold, the rain, the shine. There's not a lot of glory in a 90-minute run when it's 80 degrees outside, or your alarm goes off at 5 a.m. for a morning run knowing that, hey, I get to do this again right after school. You spend a lot of time on the roads with your teammates, and they quickly become your friends. And as you can see here, a lot of lifelong friends. The spotlight has always shined the brightest over the years on the state championship teams, the all-state teams, the medalists, conference champions, and so on, and deservedly so. But the thing that I am most proud of as a coach as I stand here is the accomplishments that these young ladies have accomplished away from the sport. The great young ladies I've watched grow into business owners, accountants, lawyers, teachers, coaches, professionals, and great citizens. And now many of them are wives and mothers. I'm proud to be here, and as I look around the room, many people here have helped the program along the way. John Edwards, my first assistant coach. I left 1 year for a college job, and Coach Vert there at the end, Mark Vert, took over, and he won a state championship. When I came return, he stepped down without being asked, and I took back over the program. I needed to step away for family reasons when my son became ill, and Jesse Thompson took over. Jessica Rose took over the program. Natalie Precise, Brad Lowe's coach when we needed him to. I retired from the sport last year, and Coach Josh Hart stepped in, and he won a conference championship in his very first year. In closing, I would like to thank a few people. The runners that have put in all the hard work and dedication, the young ladies that are here. We have young ladies from our very first year. We had our program to some knucklehead freshman girls up here, so we appreciate all of them. I thank the parents for all their support over the years. We've had so much support from our school district and our great community. I'm very proud of that. I don't want to make this about me, but I want to thank my family. My brothers and my sisters, they took the time to make it here today. I want to thank my friends and my colleagues that are here. I always try to instill the same work ethic in these young ladies and all the kids I've coached over the years that I was taught from a young age. And for that work ethic, I thank my parents. I want to thank my own children for support. Lindsay, she's drove up from Arkansas today. Ethan came home from college. Noah, he's skipping class at Drury right now to be here, and I appreciate that. And lastly, my wife. She has supported not only me, but the program for years. Allison. Allison, to a lot of people, she's known as Mrs. Coach Boyer. That's what the kids have always called her. Some people, they just call her Boyer's wife. But there's always been the Boyers at Logan Rogersville. She's been my assistant coach and my confidant for many years. And truth be known, she's a better coach than I am. She's definitely smarter. Thank you. In closing, I want to thank the Hall of Fame for this great honor. I'm retiring this year after 30 years at Rogersville, 30 great years. I thought I've faked it enough, so I better get out. So I can't think of a better way to end my career than this great honor. Thank you again, and go Wildcats.
Looks like they're already on their feet, but if you're here today related to the Rogersville program, please stand, all the Rogersville folks, if you would. Good. If you were here in January for the enshrinement on January, the last day of January, Coach Boyer was here as the coach of the Rogersville trap shooting team, who had won a national championship last year as well. So you're making a habit of this.
That's a pretty good habit.
It is. That's not bad. We'll see if we can get you back. Logan Rogersville High School Girls Cross Country Program, enshrined as a member in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the sport of cross country. As most of you know, Springfield, the Ozarks, and the entire state is home to some incredible golfers over the years. Today, we honor another fantastic player who happened to have a great coaching career as well. Join me in looking back at the career of Stephanie Jackson Powell.
There used to be a place at the corner of Sunset and Glenstone where Nakado is now, Matson's driving range. And Mr. Matson cut down a driver for her, and that's where she started swinging a golf club and hitting golf balls.
It was on that range that Stephanie Jackson Powell first honed her skills that led her to be named a high school All-American and helped her lead Glendale to back-to-back state championships.
But it's just something she kind of developed on her own, but she had a wonderful golf swing from the get-go that really hasn't changed a whole lot over the years, you know, other than age.
And like a fine wine, she just got better. She was a multiple-time winner of the Tri-States Championships and a 10-time winner of the Springfield City Championships. She was a 3-time runner-up at the Missouri Junior Championships and 4-time runner-up at the Missouri Amateur. In 2012, she won the Missouri Senior Amateur.
She was so humbled, and she said, "I am no longer a bridesmaid. I'm now a bride." She is a fierce competitor and a wonderful role model to anyone watching her play the game.
When she's not playing, she was coaching. As head coach at Missouri State for 11 years, she was a 3-time Conference Coach of the Year and led her team to their first ever Missouri Valley Conference title.
She just ran with this program, like you said, with nothing, and gave us so much experience and also taught us how to play, like go out and play.
And watching Payne Stewart play golf at the Honda Classic down there. And then he came to her in between holes and put his arm around her shoulders. And then seeing their banter go back and forth was incredible. She allowed us these experiences that nobody else would. She brought us this sense of family and unity unlike any other.
Successful at all levels of playing and coaching, she's also a great advocate for the game as a 35-year member of the Missouri Golf Association and a recipient of their Lifetime Member Award.
She was part of the girl power movement before it was popular.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah. So we are lucky to have her in our lives and lucky that she's part of our family.
She's given back so much to the game, whether it be coaching at the collegiate level, coaching the young girls in the 4 state tournaments as coach from the state of Missouri. So it's very well deserved, and sis, congrats. Well deserved, and welcome to the Hall.
She's a graduate of Drury University and a member of the Ozarks Golf Hall of Fame. Today, we add another honor. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Missouri Sports Hall of Fame inductee, Mrs. Stephanie Jackson Powell.
Wow, thank you, my family, thank you. Before I started, I did want to give Gerald something. Here's a hook. In case I go a little long, you can just like pull me off. You've needed it in the past. You can retire with that or pass it on, whatever you want to do. Golly, this is crazy. See how that works? It'll go right around. You know, I want to thank Gerald, of course, and Marty, and I call them the Carries. There's a couple of them out there at the hall that have been very helpful. Found out this was going on, I was like, wow, what am I going to talk about for 3 minutes? I can stand up here and cry for 3, which, you know, I could talk about how many times I got second, but that'd take way longer than 3 minutes. You know, I was sitting in my brother's office, and, you know, I said, I'm kind of nervous, but I probably won't write anything down. And he goes, write it down. And said the same thing to my son, and he said, write it down. My sister's a therapist, write it down. You know, so I wrote something down. And, you know, it was then I realized it's, you know, it's your family. It's, you know, I'm not up here just because of what I've done, it's because of what they've done. And, you know, it started with my grandfather, and if he wouldn't have taken me there, you know, and that little golf club wouldn't have been made. I wouldn't be here, you know, and if my mom wouldn't have driven thousands of miles, I mean, thousands, to take me to little junior tournaments. We didn't have the AJGA like they do now, the little junior tour. It was your mom packed up the car and you went, and my sister didn't complain, you know, that my mother was gone so much, and it's probably why she's such a successful therapist, because I gave her plenty of material to study, you know. So I get a little credit for that, maybe, I don't know. You know, if Dr. Wynn wouldn't have taken a chance on me, you know, I wouldn't have been a coach and wouldn't have my girls, you know, that I'm still very close with and blessed. And if my husband didn't work his tail off, I couldn't volunteer for the MGA. And I started out with the Women's Missouri Golf Association, and that was about 25 years ago probably. Helped them through a reorganization, and then again, we joined the MGA, and I'm blessed to still work with them and stay active in golf. I really can't remember when I haven't done something golf related, and I knew I could play the game. I had the privilege of playing nationally and representing the state, but you know, I could fix I could fix people. I could see what they were doing, but you know, if it came to my game, I still have to rely on my Uncle John to tell me to keep my damn eyes over the ball. It's like, he can still figure out what's going on. So it's just really brings it all back to family. And you all aren't just inducting me, but you're inducting my whole family, and I sure appreciate that. So thank you very much. Gerald, you're lucky to get me off of here in 3 minutes. Gerald would like me to tell you where I was when I found out about this honor. I was in Muskogee, Oklahoma, in a not-so-pleasant ladies' restroom. Answered the phone. I screamed. They sent somebody to knock on the door, and I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm going in the Hall of Fame.
I had to have her share that. I've had a lot of great responses over the last 25 years, but you may be a first. Hey, if you're here today for Stephanie, and there's a host of you here, please stand. All the Stephanie's family, friends, golfers. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Stephanie Jackson Powell, enshrined as a member, April 7, 2021, in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the sport of golf. Long before many of us were born, Vicki Winston was winning and winning big. One of the great benefits to this type of an event is that we get to recognize athletes from all different sports. And today I'm so pleased to be inducting the first individual into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame in the sport of horseshoe pitching. How many of you threw horseshoes as a kid? Quite a few of you. You know, so those of you that know me know I grew up on a dairy farm west of Bolivar, and after church and family lunch on Sunday, we went outside to throw horseshoes. That's how we spent Sunday afternoon. What a thrill it is for us to recognize today a world champion in Vicki Winston.
Vicki Winston was one of the greatest female horseshoe pitchers, maybe still the greatest that there ever was.
That's pretty high praise, and every bit of it is warranted for the incredible career of Vicki Winston.
I saw the work she put into it, and it's just, she made it fun to do what we did.
And since it's more fun when you're winning, Vicki Winston made it a grand old time. A native of Oregon, she moved to Missouri in 1960 and promptly won the Missouri State Horseshoes title 20 times.
Back in the early days in the 50s and 60s, there was not a lot of mixed pitching where women could pitch with the men, and they would flat out not want a pitcher. And you can imagine why. They don't want to get beat.
Far beyond the Show Me State, Winston set and still holds the record for winning 10 world championships, capturing at least one world title in 4 different decades.
She was at the end of her career before I got started in the sanctioned stuff. So the bad side of that is I never really got to see her pitch. The good side of that was I didn't have to pitch against her because she would have destroyed me.
For all the competitive success, her career was much more. In 1976, she helped lead the cause for a women's division at the Missouri State Championships. She served as vice president for both the Missouri and national associations and chaired the officers' meetings at the World Championships.
You know, so many people will get into sporting events, but they don't really get involved in the organization of it. And what she's given back over decades and decades speaks volumes about who Vicki is.
She still, to this day, is our National Association Hall of Fame chairperson. So she's still very actively engaged in horseshoes, even though she can't pitch anymore. You know, her heart is still in horseshoes.
She has competed in 27 states, Washington, D.C., and internationally, and has even pitched horseshoes with a president.
Vicki, I want to congratulate you on your induction to the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. They could not have picked a better person. You deserved it. And I know Earl's looking down and he's got that big old smile. Congratulations, Vicki. I'm proud of you.
For the first horseshoe pitcher to be inducted in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, it couldn't have happened to a better, more deserving person. Congratulations to you from me and my family, and from also your horseshoe family in the Missouri Horseshoe Pitchers Association.
Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps the greatest female horseshoes pitcher in the world. Please welcome Miss Vicki Winston.
I think that's pretty high praise, but anyway, thank you. And thank you all for being here this afternoon. I'd like to thank the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame for this great honor, and also thank the person who nominated me and made this honor possible. I also want to thank my relatives and friends who took the time to be here today. I was not born in Missouri, but my dad's mother was. When Grandma was a young child, her family joined a wagon train headed for Oregon. They were true pioneers. Many decades later, I would leave Oregon and come to Missouri. At times, I have been called a pioneer for women horseshoe pitchers in this state. It was my dad who taught me how to hold the horseshoes and learn to pitch them. But it was God who gave me the talent to use those lessons to win victories I never anticipated. God also used horseshoe pitching to enable me to meet the man he had chosen to be my future husband, and who just happened to live on a farm in Missouri. We were literally a match made in heaven. After Earl and I were married, I had the opportunity to keep on with horseshoe competition and also to serve in many ways, helping to grow the sport in our state. When Earl became an NHPA vice president, I volunteered for various jobs at the World Tournament because we had to be there for the duration of the event. However, my main focus was helping with the business and events in our state and serving almost 4 decades as a state officer. The last 28 of those years, I was secretary-treasurer. In 1960, when I came to Missouri, we had around 60 members, and I was the only female. Many years later, when I became the secretary-treasurer, we had grown to over 300 members, but it wasn't long after that until we had around 1,200 members, and it was time to join the computer age. As has happened with some other sports, membership eventually began to decline. This is a different world from the one that existed when I first got involved with horseshoe pitching. I've had a long career in my sport, filled with many wonderful experiences. The joys and rewards have been overwhelming. I've been places, seen sights, and accomplished things I never thought possible. There have been disappointments too, but those are minor compared to what I've been blessed to experience. God gave me a talent and then provided the opportunities for me to use it all over this nation. As a young girl of 10, standing on my daddy's horseshoe court, there was no way I could ever envision the journey on which I was about to embark. Horseshoe pitching is a sport that anyone can enjoy. Even if you don't have a great deal of skill, you can still have fun. And horseshoe pitching is something that people of all ages and all sizes can do. And I'm an example of that. I've pitched horseshoes at all ages and all sizes. Thank you again to the Sports Hall of Fame for this honor.
Vicki has a host of family, friends, and fellow horseshoe pitchers here. Will they all stand? If you're here for Vicki today, please stand at this time. Oh, over here. Okay. Great. Vicki Chappell Winston, enshrined as a member in recognition of your outstanding contributions in the sport of horseshoes.
Thank you.
In 2013, the Hall of Fame Governing Board created the President's Award to honor individuals who have stepped forward through their corporations, personal support, counsel, expertise, and yes, finances. Today, it's my pleasure to recognize Tara Jenkins. Tara has played a significant role with the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame and the Price Cutter Charity Championship presented by Dr. Pepper, and with the women's golf community through her company as well as herself personally. She also serves on the governing board of the Hall of Fame and is the founder of SWAG, Springfield Women Ambassadors of Golf. Let's hear what some others have to say about Tara Jenkins.
When she had the chance, she wanted to make sure to support her community.
She'll find a way to make it work. That's just her, that's just who she is. She is determined and gutsy because she's going to go where she's not expected to go, and she's just going to make it happen.
As co-owner of the family-owned Missouri Equipment Leasing, Tara Jenkins has made it a passion to give back to her hometown.
She is my friend, my active friend, that does not sit around and do nothing. When she puts her mind into something, she is a 110% there and committed.
The President's Award is given to individuals who further the mission of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame and sports across the state. Jenkins and her company are corporate partners with the Hall and a lead sponsor for the Price Cutter Charity Championship presented by Dr. Pepper, helping to raise millions of dollars for local Ozarks charities.
Tara brings us all together in various ways. We've done so many fundraising opportunities and nonprofit events and other things and other Sports Hall of Fame events to support every aspect of it.
Beyond the Hall or the Price Cutter, she founded a group called SWAG, the Springfield Women's Ambassadors of Golf, with membership now approaching 200 strong and a mission of enhancing women's presence in sports across the area.
It's a way for women to come into sports and not be intimidated or not be afraid. It's a way for us to be more comfortable, and I love it with SWAG. She brings in people who've never played all the way up to, people who've played their entire life. So it brings together women, and she's so passionate about it.
I've been involved with events that have tried to get bigger, and particularly with women in golf, and it is a struggle. And she has decided it is not going to fall apart and not going to go by the wayside, and she has kept it going to this day. In fact, I was at an event just last weekend.
So whether on the golf course, at events, in the community, or even serving on the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors, Tara Jenkins has become a staple of support in the Springfield area.
Congratulations, Tara. You so deserve this. I'm so proud of you and so honored to be your friend and to be a part of this great movement that you've created.
Congratulations, Tara. You are deserving of this, and we appreciate all that you're doing for our community.
And you so deserve it because you support women from all over the place. Sports, whether it's in sports, business, friendships, family. So congratulations, big congratulations from John and I.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome an ardent supporter of sports in the area and for the Hall of Fame. Here is Ms. Tara Jenkins, recipient of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame President's Award.
Chairman Conley is presenting Tara with the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame letter jacket, which is adorned in our red, white, and blue colors with the Hall of Fame logo as the letter on the jacket.
Thank you, Gerald Andrews and the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. It's an honor to be here, and it's very overwhelming, but I appreciate all of the support of the Hall of Fame, the staff who has supported me and been part of my community since I got back here in the Ozarks. I wrote a little diddly here. I'm going to try to use my phone as opposed to paper. Someone told me to save a tree, I think. Anyway. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here together to get through this thing called life. Life means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you there's life in heaven and on earth, and it's called sports. You have to be a good sport and strive to always keep your senses with you. Try to make good decisions and have a sense of humor when you make mistakes, because mistakes happen here and there in sports, in life. And I've made a few, and we all have, but I appreciate the community support that I've been given when I moved back here from the Pacific Northwest. I was raised a small town girl living in a lonely world, so if you get the theme here, I like music a little bit. I took a midnight train going anywhere but here because I just thought I wanted to go and see the world. So I did, and I went to Tulsa University, and I have my Tulsa peeps here. Thank you so much for coming. And, but I came back to the Ozarks to find that the Ozarks grew up, and I had also grown up. And we all grew up together in a sense, even though I was so far removed for a while there. But this honor is I'm sorry, I'm really nervous. It's embarrassing. I left and I came back and I embraced the community here that embraced me and welcomed me back. And my family, I want to say thank you so much to my Jenkins family. They're all here, Russell and Scott and my brother Phil and Christy, and I could go on and on. And I'm going to try not to say everyone's name because I'll forget somebody, of course. But this award is not just for me. It's really for all women. I am just a cheerleader. I brought my cheer bombs. Woo! Because I'm not that great of an athlete. I love sports and I cheer for sports. My kids were all in sports. I raised them to be involved in something. And that ebb and flowed too, but I'm just glad and so proud to have them. My children are here, Megan and Peyton and Spencer. I got 2 Arkansas people over there. They came from Arkansas to be here with me. Thank you so much. And Peyton, of course, he just made the golf team at Glendale, so go Peyton. I'm proud to have a golfer in the family, I will admit. He's much better than I am, that's for sure. As I told Lisa Tinkler and Stephanie when we were blessed to be on Lisa Tinkler's radio show, I said, Lisa will tell you I'm not that good of a golfer, I just love the sport, right? Lisa was the first one to tell me that. She's like, you're really not that good. I'm like, I know, but I'm here to play, so let's do it. Anyway, I have so many mentors. Lisa is definitely one of them. She was instrumental in helping form SWAG. I didn't form SWAG myself. It was a team of women who formed SWAG. And it just took a while for it to gel together. And it was a couple-year endeavor just to kind of get it all going. But now we're in our 3rd year, and I'm so honored to have my swaggers. Who let the swaggers out? Who? Come on, help me out here. Thank you. I got my swaggers back there in support as well. I want to thank you, Hickory women's golfers here, to also be supporting me. And again, all my mentors are my women friends, to be honest with you. My brother was a mentor in golf for me. He taught me how to have a good swing, along with my dad and my mom, of course. I really owe it all to them. I'm just truly blessed and honored to be here. Thank you for this honor. Thank you to the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you for my friends and my family and my loved ones. And thank you for letting me be a part of this community and giving back.
Let me invite Tara's family and friends. If you're here for Tara today, please stand if you're part of her family and friends, the Sway group. Great. Thank you. Missouri Sports Hall of Fame President's Award presented to Tara Jenkins for her outstanding contributions, service, and loyalty to the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations. We're going to get a picture right here. I hope you've enjoyed today's program and that many memories have been rekindled or made that you'll cherish for years to come. I especially once again want to thank Laura Thomas and Susan Daniel and the memory of their mother, B. Payne Stewart, for being the founding and title sponsor of the Women's Sports Luncheon, as well as all of our other sponsors. Let's give our President's Award recipient, the inductees, and our WIN Award recipients one more big round of applause. Let's give all of them a round of applause. Good. Thank you for being our guest.